Woo, this blackout has caused the muck and the gook at the bottom of the ocean to stir up and come to the surface. I mean, these people can't hide it no more behind this myth of the Asian being the model citizen. If you know, or if you're into oceanology like me, just anything that has to do with underwater, you would know how deep the ocean is for the things, for whatever's lying at the bottom of the ocean to get stirred up and rise to the surface. Asians have been perceived as the model citizen while we have been stomped on. Now it's like we're rising up and just blowing them off our heads. And I used to always say that when white America praises something or a person or a group of people, no, it's always a lie. And it's something dark underneath what they're trying to hide. I'll be back. Hey, folks. Good evening, good afternoon. I don't know what side of the world you guys are on, but where it applies, it applies. But anyway, I just happened to be walking through the house and heard someone playing this video of the guy's called, his channel is called Afro Think Tank, I believe. He was doing a video where he was like, you know what, you guys come out talking about our culture. You want to come out and put us down talking about our culture. Well, now it's our turn. I'm about to come out and talk about your culture, which you guys like to hide and cover up. I was like, whoa, so he had my attention. I sat there and listened to like 5-10 minutes of it. I say, nah, I gotta do a video on this. So I'm gonna put his clip in, and then I found some little information I want to share. I'm just going to show a variety of clips. I'm going to show people still talking about the blackout, how successful it is, and whatnot. I'll probably come in between clips to explain some things or add my commentary. Check it out.
What's going on about this Afro think tank? Today we're going to talk about the toxic culture Koreans bring to America, because their toxic culture has affected America. Their toxic culture, this is Korean people and their toxic culture, all right? Their toxic culture that they ran away from, brought to the Americas, and implemented within the culture established in America, right? And see, African Americans' culture is one of defiance and revolution, fighting against white supremacy. That's our culture, right? And our culture has fought against that said white supremacy, right? But Korean culture, right, has fought to protect white supremacy because they believe that they can benefit from white supremacy because of their toxic culture that they have in Korea. You see, I see all these Asian people online talking to African Americans, right, as if their placement in America is the same as African Americans' placement in America, as if we are the same. They're comparing, we have the well-to-do 1% of the Korean population, the ones that have enough money to fly across the world and establish a business, the ones that were smart enough about one topic to be able to come over here and reap the benefits of what my ancestors fought and died in order for them to be able to have the opportunity to take advantage of, right? Right. So while they were doing all of that, right, and they were shitting in our faces, disrespecting us in our faces, all manner of unhuman, subhuman cultural behavior that they project onto us, even though the group of people who have did the most damage to them has caused them all of their problems that they currently complain about, and who they continue to complain about today as a group of people who do not give them, right, equality, as they complain about racism from white people, as they try to be like white people, as they practice the same racism that they complain that white people are doing to them, as they practice that against us, which makes them the ultimate hypocrites, and culturally they're hypocrites. Now I'm being specific when I talk about Koreans, because there's been many Asians that don't like to be lumped up with this Asian thing, even though Asians like to lump themselves up when it's something positive. But now that there's some heat coming, now Asians have split apart, just like anything else. We're gonna lump all you guys up, but I'm gonna be specific because we're gonna go and dig up all your dirty laundry because y'all like to compare the established African American ethnic group with your expat groups who already have an advantage. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the countries you come from and see what our equivalent would do. We see what how's the culture like in the places that you come from. They got nothing but people like you in it. And we're going to discover the toxicity within your communities that you brought over here that tried to destroy some stuff that we tried to build that benefited you. Your culture, Korean culture, has destroyed their opportunities in America because of their need for predatory test-taking practices, for your savage step on the neck type behavior towards all people while competing with everybody, thinking that you're competing for a white trophy you ain't never going to get. You see, when George Floyd was being killed on TV in front of everybody, there was an Asian observer watching that made sure that white man could finish off that black man. And it's a parody of what's been going on. That Asian man who had no voice, had nothing to say, while he stood there, oblivious, making sure the crowd didn't interrupt his precious white partner from killing that black man. Right? And that just speaks on how they move in society, as in their own communities, they're afraid to speak up because they know there are consequences for opening your mouth. But they come to America and all of a sudden they find a voice when it comes to something that they deem as unfair because of their toxic culture that they implanted here in the West, of predatory test taking, of scholastic savagery. And come to find out, you guys are not as smart as the stereotype says that you guys are, because you cheat. The same way them white people cheat in America, sending their kids who are not qualified to these top tier schools because of legacy or because daddy got some money. You Asians do exactly the same thing on a higher, more hyperbolic level.
Mr. Afro Think Tank elaborates on what he says, or emphasizes what he says by providing this clip, and it's brutal. These people are so brutal amongst each other, and you understand their mindset when they come here. They do one another like they do. It's nothing for them to do us like that, and they think we're underneath them. Check this out.
Teachers in South Korea, they are typically the victims of abuse. They are typically bullied by students and students' parents. In a Korean classroom, it's safe to assume the student holds the most authority, because if a student lies and accuses a teacher of doing anything to them, the parent can file a formal complaint, and almost always the school takes the parent's side. If a teacher tries to do anything in an attempt to teach, a parent doesn't like it, they can get a complaint, and it's almost to the point where they can't even actually educate students anymore. The authority of the teachers at this country has hit a rock bottom. I think there's something seriously wrong with the education system. South Korea right now, because the education system is so competitive, a lot of parents feel that their kids can make no mistakes. It's also my kid first, where if the kid is not doing well in that class, maybe it's the teacher's fault. Let's move the teacher out of there and get a new teacher, and so my kid can do well, even if all the other kids are doing great. Parents will accuse teachers of child abuse if they even restrain a violent student. There are videos of students slapping teachers in class, or if a teacher tells a student they're disrupting the class to be quiet, they can be accused of emotional abuse. One example, a teacher took away reward stickers because the student with the reward stickers tried to attack another student with a pair of scissors. So they took away the reward stickers because you don't get a reward for being violent. And formal complaints were filed by the parents, which then in turn the administration reprimanded the teacher. Teachers are saying they don't even feel safe to teach at this point. And within a span of a week in 2024, multiple teachers in South Korea self-exited, a few of them on school grounds. Over 100 teachers have self-exited in the past 5 years in South Korea. One of the victims who self-exited had been bullied by parents at the school for just trying to teach and discipline the kids. She wrote in her diary that every time she even enters a classroom, she feels, quote, "My chest feels too tight. It feels like I'm gonna fall somewhere." The 23-year-old has PTSD from entering a classroom because of the bullying she faced from the students' parents. She was found dead in her classroom by her colleagues, which triggered a 200,000 teacher protest in front of the National Assembly. The teachers are not here to protest for a raise. We're just asking that the government protect teachers from unfair situations that are brought upon by students and by students' parents. We Korean teachers only want the right to teach. That's it, without worrying about things that have nothing to do with education. That's all we want.
That is absolutely insane. America doesn't push their students to be that competitive. But to me, I think that's a good thing, because you see what's going on already. Like, damn, if they push their students to be that doggone competitive, wow. And it makes you soulless. Being competitive like that regarding education makes you soulless. It makes you one-sided. And it makes you so competitive where you can harm someone or yourself. And that's just ridiculous. Over education, a system that I believe was not designed for anyone but people who are white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Now I want to share this news article with you guys that someone shared with me. And as I said, this blackout is bringing up the churns, is bringing up all the muck and the mire from underneath at the bottom of the ocean. Now, this is absolutely crazy, atrocious, and it reminds me of white racists. It's like I'm at a point where I'm all this information coming out and these things being exposed about the Asian culture. It's making me wonder who's worse, white racists or them. And it's like, it's crazy. This what this guy did to this black guy, and they were roommates. And all that time you were acting like you guys were friends. And then you were slow. Okay, check this out. I don't know how to say his name. Last name is Yang, a former chemistry major at, was it Leahy University? Lehigh, I believe. Pleaded guilty to attempted murder and was sentenced in March 21 to 7 to 20 years in state prison. He will be deported to China following his sentence. Yang spent months slowly lacing the food, drinks, and mouthwash of his roommate, Jawan Royal, with thallium, an odorless, tasteless, and highly toxic heavy metal formerly used in rat poison. Royal, who is black and had lived with Yang for several years, now I don't know if he's black American or melanated, suffered from severe dizziness, vomiting, burning sensations, and neurological damage. He required intensive medical treatment and dealt with lingering pain in his extremities for years. Investigators discovered Yang, who purchased the chemical online, had also been previously investigated for scrawling racist graffiti on Royal's desk. Following his initial arrest, Yang's family posted bail, but immigration and customs enforcement agents held him in custody to immediately deport him to China to evade prosecution. Prosecutors successfully petitioned to keep him in the U.S. to face charges. Damn, you got to be a cold, wicked ass person. Now, the question is, did he do this solely based on race, prejudice, or bias? Hateful, or was it competition? Did he discover that this man, this melanated man or black American man, was smarter than him? You know, because they're fiercely competitive when it comes to education. And now we're learning that they're not as bright as they come off, you know? And I'm not even being facetious. I'm not trying to, put extras on it. I'm really seeing that by their comments and reactions. This other clip, or this next clip I'm going to show, is like, it's one reason why it's solidified that I'm done. I'm done with a lot of these groups until they show me something different, which I really don't think they will. One thing that really annoys me about this clip is how lackadaisical these young men are acting or appearing to me. And to me, it conveys that they're so used to being, targeted, accused, some of them falsely accused, and it's like just another day. And that's sick that this country causes, I'm talking about the young black men who are not doing anything illegal or criminal. I feel it's been ingrained in black men, young or older, to be accustomed to being falsely accused. And again, people, I'm talking about black men who aren't doing anything criminal or illegal. Check this out.
They are threatening us. Yeah? So, I think they have a gun.
You heard that? They're threatening us. They have a gun. That's crazy.
Did you guys peep that out? He just said a one. So he barely speaks English, has this thick accent. So I don't know how long he's been in this country, but he knew how to falsely accuse black young men. He can't speak the language that well, but he knew enough to falsely accuse these young men. So you folks still got an issue with the blackout? I'm talking about you guys who have an issue with the blackout. Giving these people your money in your neighborhood and they can get on the phone any day and call the police and falsely accuse your son. And your son might not ever come home if they don't run into... Okay, check this out.
My wife said they have a gun.
She never said that, bro. Yeah, you're shit nice. Fuck you.
You want my email? Yes. Okay. I'll send it to your number. I need now.
Look how many police officers here from what somebody said there's a gun here. Think about what you're saying. Look how many police cars are here.
Just to try and get us out of here.
Raising my wife because I didn't say.
Well, who called? Maybe you should bring your wife out of this.
After,
I'm asking you!
I told them I didn't.
It was nothing funny about that. I didn't see anything funny about that, but I'm believing they probably laughed because they were proven to be innocent. But just think if that wasn't a cop who had the rationale to figure out what was going on before assuming pulling up and pulling out guns. It would have been a whole different story. These people do not care a thing about our lives, our souls. And like I said in multiple videos, since this blackout happened, we gave these people too much money. Do you realize money is spiritual? And in what we weren't just giving them power by giving them our money, they were taking our essence. Because the whole transaction is spiritual when you give people money. And then they come in our community, they learn our ways. They see how we move. They know it's something special and different about us. And they steal our essence and our culture and everything that makes us who we are and go transplant it in their culture. And then still have the nerves to sit there and talk about us. They have opened up and spoken curses on their lives. I don't even think they realize it. Copying off of these races, you can just curse yourself. The next clip I'm going to show you is a clip of this young lady finding it very funny what her relatives are going through. Check this out.
It's not funny. It's not funny. I know I'm laughing, but it's not funny. My Asian and my Blasian cousins is scared. They scared, bro. They scared. They said from my auntie, her restaurant been empty for 2 days. My cousin Kimiko, her nail salon been empty, and she said black people keep walking by staring at her through the window. It's not funny. It's not funny.
You saw
I
how
know
she
I'm
was laughing? I'm assuming there must be some internal issues going on with the family, 'cause she's dark, and I'm assuming mixed. You know how they are, very biased, anti-black against one another if your skin is darker, So for her to be laughing like that, whoo, that's deep. The next clip I'm going to show you is, we're friends on TikTok. And he put up this video showing that, he's standing on business. He is not giving his money to these restaurants. Check this out.
Everybody's so creative.
I bet you they'll think long, hard, and strong before they throw out another challenge. But real talk, this is one of the best things that could have ever happened for our community. People are talking about how they felt this food wasn't, other than not being healthy, talking about them possibly doing things to that food to harm us. And I wouldn't be surprised because they call themselves being so closely aligned with whiteness, who's to say? And then it's like, It's always better to cook at home. You know who's touching your food. You know what they're putting in your food. And then you most likely cooking it out of love. You actually care. Some of these people go to work, can't stand that they got a job or got to go to work. And then on top of not liking you too, people thoughts and how they feel, that's energy going into your food, going into your stomach. And then you wonder why are people in the hospital all the time sick. Okay, this next lady got some things on her mind she got to let out.
Audacity, the level of entitlement to think that you can dictate how someone else decides to spend their money. There's still a mental ownership that other races of people wish to maintain over us. We're expected to rally in the streets for everyone's causes. We're expected to vote a certain way. We're expected to spend our money with certain people. And if we don't do those things, apparently we're racist or we're not a POC ally, as if everything that we've done in this country hasn't laid the groundwork for everyone else to come here and have any semblance of success. I just need people to remember that Black people are not anyone's slaves, physically or mentally.
I said that in one of my videos. I said they treat us like we're their slaves. I'm talking about the Asian community. Like, they don't give a F how they treat us, but they still want us to give or expect us to give them our money. And what's so crazy is, you telling me before now they didn't realize we were their base customers? And so your base customers have had enough of you. And now you're sitting here looking crazy because you messed up? That's wild. Now I want to play a little clip of a video I did where I was talking about how our people are stigmatized. How you can have all these different groups and races and ethnicities around the world do their own things, have their own flaws. Some, worse than what we're accused of having, and who's stigmatized. Check this out.
Let's take a quick stroll down Audacity Lane while I point out tragic and cruel events that occurred throughout history by other groups who damn near eviscerated one another, but somehow they are still praised, revered almost, while those called Black Americans are, say it with me folks, stigmatized.
Chinese on Chinese crime. In a 2018 article, they said that in late January, the Chinese Communist Party officially launched a grand campaign against gang crime by issuing a strong worded notification on carrying out a special struggle to clean up gang crime. Eliminate evil. This province arrested more than 1,400 suspects, busted 202 gangs involved in 532 cases, and seized more than 9.21 million. Young. I said it wrong. Another province has busted 175 gangs and arrested 1,111 suspects. They claim that it has been fired, the first shot against gang crime, by arresting more than 1,200 suspects. Even the All China Lawyers Association, the official national association for China's lawyers, has established a special committee to guide those lawyers who will provide services to gang crime suspects. According to the Central Committee's spirit, the ACLA said that all lawyers should fully understand the great significance of carrying out the special struggle against gang crime and unify their thoughts and actions with the policy of the Central Committee.
And this is what's happening, and I'm sure it's still happening in China. But they always stigmatize Black folks. They'll do a movie praising, or seeming to me, praising, Chinese gang violence.
Let's continue. A 2024 article on Chinese gang crime said North America's fentanyl crisis has thrust China-like criminal networks in their expanding international connections, such as with the Mexican cartel. However, the scope of organized crime from China extends far beyond global drug trafficking and money laundering. Internationally, Chinese criminal groups engage in poaching and wildlife trafficking, cybercrime, and elaborate fraud and scams, also featuring people trafficking and enslaved. Long experience in illegally bringing people to the United States and Canada, criminal networks from China have intensified activities at the U.S. Mexico border.
You already know what I'm about to say, but they still.
The next clip is a clip from Joe Budden's podcast, and they're touching on the blackout. And you know the guy, the very transparent looking one, the very, very light black guy. It seems like every time I catch one of Joe Budden's videos, he did this. He always got something to say that just irks me. And they're talking about how we've been saying we weren't able to get loans and initiatives or whatever to open businesses in our community. It's been systemic. He comes, they ask him, well, why do you think Black Americans don't have that many businesses in their community? Guess what he said? I mean, he is one that he's a black person who's anti-black. That's just it. It's like and then there's just a generalizing. Well, I think we don't have businesses in our community because people be effing over their money. Like, dude, please counsel yourself. Check this out.
But know what's the crazy part? The fact that he kind of had a leg to stand on saying that ignorant shit.
Why?
Because overwhelmingly, the businesses that he named dominate our neighborhoods.
But you know why, though. So why he got a leg to stand on? He don't know why. He don't know that if motherfucker coming from this country from somewhere else, they get better loans than we do. We systematically been set up to not own nothing or have nothing in our neighborhoods. That's the difference. That's the thing that he doesn't know. But you know, don't you, nigga?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't know that, but
you do know.
I don't.
You know. You
it's
know
another conversation that I don't want to get into.
Okay, we don't have to though. But no. you don't know why we don't own business in our neighborhood?
No, I do know. Okay, but I don't want to have the conversation. Okay, our priorities is fucked up, and that's why we don't own business.
I hate when y'all do that. Oh, brother, please with that shit. That is not why we don't own business.
Yeah, that's not the baby.
All black people's priorities are not fucked up, so that's why there's no business in that. I hate when y'all
it's a systematic
start
thing,
with this.
Well,
let's have a conversation.
What's the reason? You don't want to have it.
You don't want to have it.
So we're not going to.
I'm not jumping it, but he said that irked me. That part. The onus, we talking about a little black boy getting murdered in a store. Somehow we always get back to what black people are or are not doing. I want to just keep the focus where it's supposed to be.
Gotcha.
That's all.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
You said what are they doing to the store? You said it was tearing
vandalizing it, vandalizing, throwing rocks.
They can't open.
You can't
I
open.
wouldn't even do that.
And the first day they had all the police out there.
No insurance money.
The first day they had all the police out there. And I seen that. I was like, this ain't gonna last but for so long. Y'all can't have these fucking 50 cop cars out here all day.
Yeah, not at all. And we shouldn't have to do that. We should starve the store if no one ever goes in there.
Don't burn it down. Don't do none of that because again, all they're gonna do is inflate the insurance quotes, get the money, and go somewhere else. Just starve them. Leave them niggas alone. Let them stand right there with zero fucking business.
Yes.
I can say he redeemed himself with the last thing he said about starving these businesses out. And I've been saying it for the longest. Actually, I've been talking about this subject since I started my channel. You know, I don't know if people were listening or, it was just business as usual. But yeah, it's like just to make that generalization is so irking to me. And then I know somebody could be like, well, what are you doing? You're generalizing all Asians. Listen, I'm talking about the Asians in our community. The majority of businesses in our community that they have, the consensus is they don't treat their customers right. And that's it. I'm not going to explain it again. But anyway, just to generalize that's one reason why we don't have business. Do you know how long we've been having businesses in our country, in our community? And it got dried up after the 80s. Black people started selling out their businesses, and then Asians learned how to grift in our community. And then black business owners got switched out to immigrants. It was systemic. It happened right before our eyes. Before I play the next video, I want to tell you guys something. This is talking about an experience, something I learned about the Hispanic community when I was in high school. Afro Think Tank said, y'all always trying to put us on blast, always trying to speak against us and talk crap about us and put us down. Okay, well, let's expose some of you guys things that y'all don't really talk. I don't notice anybody in the Hispanic community putting this out there, so I'm gonna do it. I was in high school and I was a part of this peer counseling program, and I was in the 11th grade, and I had English composition. The class I had was English composition, and I was cool with my teacher. I forgot her last name, but she let us call her Pat. And she was a Caucasian woman. She was real cool, I really enjoyed her class. So she told us that the school was initiating a peer counseling program. And she chose the students that she wanted to be a part of it. And of course, I was one of them. I was honored. And, we would meet up, I think, once or twice a week and coached or trained on how to talk to people with sensitive issues and concerns. Of course, we had to practice confidentiality. We couldn't go around telling folks business. So I'm trying to remember how this occurred. How did she approach me? I think I could have been outside during lunch. I don't remember. What was it, lunch or what was the break before lunch? Jesus. I could have been walking to and fro between classes. I don't remember, but I do remember her approaching me. Her first name was Eva, Hispanic, lovely young lady, just quiet and very modest. And later on, as we continued to talk, I learned that she was a beautiful young lady, beautiful Hispanic young lady, inside and out. So she approached me and she said, she asked me, was I part of the peer counseling program? I forgot the name of that counseling program it was, but I told her, yeah. I think on certain days we had to wear a t-shirt, peer counselor, So she was like, she wanted to talk to me. I said, okay. I can't even remember. I think she might have said somebody told her to ask for me. But I was like, yeah, okay. So I don't remember if she was talking to me right then at that moment, or she gave me her number. I gave her my number. I can't remember, but I think, or what, did we go in our classroom? I think we had class. The classroom was open certain days at certain times where we can go inside the classroom and counsel or listen to the students that had issues and problems and concerns. It was one of those things. I don't remember. And I know you guys probably like, get on to the point. And sometimes when you're recollecting things, you want to, I'm trying to remember. This is so long ago, God. So anyway, she ended up telling me that she was concerned about something. And it took her some time to say it. But she basically revealed to me that she was turning 16. She said that by her turning 16, it was custom in their family for the father to be the first one to break in his daughter, have sex with her. I was flipped. I was what? I couldn't act like I was like, I had to maintain a professionalism, even though I was in high school. But I know I didn't act like, what the F you talking about? I know I didn't do that. But I maintained composure where I allowed her to still feel comfortable to continue to talk. She did look at me to gain my reaction, but like I said, I remained professional. And then I said, I'm trying to process this, and what do you do? So I said, well, what about your mom? Did you talk to your mother? And I think it was just basically that was the thing they did. So, it's not much the mama was going to be willing to do or say against it. That was what they did. I felt so bad for her because I think she was crying. She started crying. And because of what she told me, I was required to go and tell my teacher. I explained that to her, and she was willing to go and talk to the teacher. She ended up telling the teacher, I think she was too bashful or shy, and I ended up telling the teacher in front of Eva. And after that, the ball got the rolling. I think they might have talked to the parents. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I do remember after that came out and she talked to the teacher, and then, the administration got involved. when she would come to school, she would just look so more light. She would just look so much lighter and happier. And we talked. I think we talked for the duration of my time being at the school until I left and went to another high school. I left there. Yeah, I left there. I was about to say the year, but I left that high school and went to another high school in Los Angeles. So I don't think I ever saw her again. But she comes to my mind periodically. So I didn't bring that up to trash Hispanics. I just brought it up to say and show everybody got issues in their community. Everybody got issues in their group. And it's crazy how they just like to dogpile on us. And it's like it's getting tired, and it's like we can do this until the cows start coming home. You talk about us, we can talk about you. So it's like, y'all want to chill or you want to keep going? Okay, the next clip is going to be the last clip. And this one actually touched my heart. I was going to write a comment on her video, but I forgot to. But I had compassion and understanding for her. She's a Filipina, and she is expressing the toxicity within the Asian culture. And when you listen to some of the things that she's talking about, the things that's been going on with her, committed by her people, it could just remind you of how they're always talking about us being crabs in a bucket, and we don't get along, and we don't support each other. Listen to what she's saying about her own people. And then after that video, I'm going to be out. I'm shutting down the shop. And thank you guys for your support, liking, commenting, subscribing, hyping, sharing, and caring. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. But check out this clip.
I'm gonna make this video, and this is going to be a different video because I'm going to vent out here. I'm going to vent my feelings because I am really, really mad right now, and I feel like I'm gonna explode and I'm gonna cry. Like, why are this other Filipino like this? Why are you like this? You guys are the most horrible people in the world. Like, seriously, I'm not saying all of it, but Jesus Lord, what is wrong with you? You guys are taking advantage of my employee. They're speechless with what you're doing, guys. What a piece of shit. I am so mad. I wish I'm here when that happens. Filipino are just so bad. You all know I don't normally post shit like this, stuff like this on social media, especially when crying. I don't normally do that. I have to because I am so tired with this Filipina. I am Filipina myself, but I am a good Filipina, and I know a lot of good Filipina. But there are just some bad Filipinas right there. They're horrible, very, very horrible. Their life is miserable, probably taking advantage of my powerless staff. Some video that I have before, I have shared that I always mention most of the complainer or most of the people that complains a lot or do something take advantage are Filipinas. I am so sorry to all the Filipinas out there. I am Filipina myself, and I'm gonna keep repeating that I am Filipina, and I have friends that is Filipino also, and Vic, Shireen. I wish I am here, and I wish I could post her because I would love to post her. And she did not do this one time only. She did this so many times. She discriminate me when I started this business, and I ignore her. Sometimes it's so hard for me to believe that the people who really try to drag me down are these Filipinos. It is so hard to understand them.